This is some tea. This is the good shit. This is what I love in life. Oh my God. Would I be the a-hole for suing my friend when she didn't come to my wedding? Yes. I, 25 female, recently got married to my 25 male husband in Bali, Indonesia in January. It was a destination wedding, but my parents and his parents paid for their own plane tickets and hotel, but we paid for our friends' plane tickets and hotel stays. Each plane ticket was about $2,000 and hotel was maybe $150 to $300 for the week. My friend Gemma brought along her newlywed husband, John, but paid for his plane ticket. The problem is that Gemma and John did not show up to my wedding. Gemma took the free plane ticket to Bali, and the hotel room, when I asked why she didn't show up, she said that since they couldn't afford their own honeymoon, that this was the perfect opportunity, and that Jim decided that he didn't feel like going. I was really hurt by this, since Gemma and I have been close friends for over 10 years. Would I be the a-hole if I took her small claims court for the money I spent on the plane ticket and hotel? Boy. Okay, well, let's read the update first. Update. I messaged Gemma per multiple comments advising me to invoice her for the plane ticket and hotel room, but I did something a little better. I wanted to get proof, so if I had to go to court, it would be a little easier to win. I messaged her this. Hey, sorry for being so distant, but I just wanted to talk to you about Bali. I'm hurt that you didn't show up for the ceremony. I pulled a lot of strings to ensure that you could come, and then you didn't show up. Do you think I paid for the trip just so you could have a honeymoon with John? She replied, I've missed you a lot and I know the trip was for your wedding, but John didn't want to go because he felt like your wedding ruined the illusion of the trip being our honeymoon and that you'd understand. I replied, no, I don't understand. You took advantage of me and that's not what real friends do. So I'm invoicing you $23.87 for the cost of the plane ticket and the hotel room. I will give you 30 days and after that I will be taking legal action. I have received no response, but she's been posting subliminal quotes on Instagram that are along the lines of entitled friends and having snakes in your life. Thank you for all the verdicts and help. Wow, a lot of updates on this one. Updates part 2. I didn't think this could get worse, but here we are. I didn't respond to any of the subliminal messages that she posted about me on social media, and I've been very quiet while I've been getting my ducks in a row for litigation. This past Friday, she sent me a 3-page audit of the financial and emotional contributions from 2015 to present. I wish I was joking. The audits. She itemized every dinner or lunch we've ate together. She estimated $18 per meal, gas money for driving to and from hangouts, a birthday gift from 2017 that she now claims she went into debt for, and spent time emotionally supporting me after my dad passed. She said she took on the role of a grief counselor for me, even though I talked to her on the phone about it for 30 minutes. One time she helped me move apartments. She wants to be paid for her labor, and emotional duress caused by threatening litigation. Her grand total, $2,412, which is conveniently within $25 of what I was invoicing her. She then told me that if we're really keeping score, I owe her $24.56. I think I stared at the document for 10 minutes in silence in total shock from the audacity because this bitch is delusional. To clarify, I never asked her to cook for me, but while I was in college, she did pay for lunches, but when I definitely returned the favor big time once I graduated, I bought her many gifts over the years. I let her stay at my house several times when she and John argued, and I've also lent a shoulder for her to cry on when she had difficult times in her life, but apparently being a friend is now billable. I decided to give the message a thumbs down because if I respond, I will be extremely disrespectful with anger I am facing. I cannot wait for these 30 days to be over because I will be suing the fuck out of her. Holy, oh my goodness. Final update. Sorry that I haven't updated in a while. I've been trying to get my ducks in a row before proceeding with everything. While doing that, I was going through photos from Bali and ended up on the Instagram page of a local photographer who took pictures of me and my husband during the sailing excursion we went on. I was scrolling through their page and looking at random groups and saw a very familiar face. It was Gemma and a man, and it wasn't John. No shot. It was a man I had never seen before. There were multiple photos, one where they were just sitting down with drinks, one with Gemma and the guy wrapping his arm around her, and one of them kissing. That's when everything clicked. My wedding was the day after everyone landed, which is why I never saw her at all. Not at the hotel, not around town, nothing. I just assumed that she was trying to lie down or trying to lie low around town to avoid a confrontation with me. She didn't skip my wedding because John didn't feel like going to that wedding and ruined the illusion of their trip being at the honeymoon. She skipped it because she wasn't there with John, but with another man. This is some tea. This is the good shit. This is what I love in life. Oh my God. After seeing this photo of her and her affair partner, I decided to do my own detective work. I went to her Instagram page and tried to see if I could find the guy's Instagram page in her following list or follower list. Nada. I tried to see if any guy that remotely looked like him was in her comments or likes. Nope. I felt defeated until I remembered about Gemma's small pottery Instagram account, and boom, I found him. Let's just say his name is Ryan. Ryan had several photos that were taken in Bali on his page. He even had a photo of himself in the hotel room that I paid for. I was beyond pissed that I had wanted to get my money back just to be done with Gemma altogether. On the day of our court date, I told my side, showed the judge the text messages, and explained that I paid for her trip so she could attend my wedding, and she didn't show up. Gemma claimed that the trip was a gift for her new marriage and not contingent on her attending. I didn't even have to bring up the fact that she didn't bring John because the judge didn't buy Gemma's story. I was awarded the full amount back. Gemma walked out of the courtroom without even looking at me. I know she was pissed as expected. She went straight to Instagram, and this time she didn't hold back at all. She started posting about me on her story, calling me a bitch, saying this is why I can't have kids, posting photos of me, calling me fat, saying she'll just go spit on the grave of my dead grandmother. Just diabolical mean girl stuff. The last time she brought our drama to social media, I ignored it, but not this time. I know what I did next was stooping to her level, but I don't care. Girl, get it. I don't care either. Sometimes revenge is justified, okay? None of this Avatar: The Last Airbender, we can redeem the Fire Lord. Absolutely not. Go nuclear on this bitch. I posted the photo of her kissing Ryan on my story and tagged her and John in it. I captioned, sorry we missed you in Bali. Hope you had fun. Within minutes, she began spamming my phone. She was calling, texting, leaving voicemails, screaming at me. And before I blocked her on everything, I messaged her one last time and said, you should have just come to the wedding. Holy, okay. Let's back it all the way back up. Damn, 10 out of 10. Big claps. Okay, let's just back it up to the very first part. Are you the asshole for billing her or like suing her? A little, but not ignoring the context of the updates. That would be, I'm never speaking to you again because you've completely betrayed my friendship and like taken advantage of me financially. Would I sue for that? I don't know. Like that gets really messy, but like it's a little bit assholey, but not that assholey. With the context, I mean, obviously the friend is the asshole, 100%. I think that anytime you involve the court, you're like taking a step, like an extra step of like how worth the consequence you think it is. With that being said, everything that we've seen after the fact has proven that this lady is fucking mental. And also she was there cheating on her husband. The update drama on this is phenomenal. Choice, peak, A1, certified Wagyu beef, okay? Holy. This was so far beyond the pale that the court system is nothing. Oh, I mean, yeah, with all of the updates and stuff, like, absolutely. It's a little hard. I'm very much more of a person of like, if somebody wrongs you, you should just cut them out of your life and move on. But like, maybe that's just me, you know, I like, if you're already paying $2,000 for a bunch of different people to show up, like, obviously you're comfortable spending all of that money. You know what I mean? But like, I would be unlikely to take somebody to claims court. I just would never speak to them again. You know what I mean? Like that is a really fucked up thing to do. But then like it just kept getting worse and worse and worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. What if she told her husband that she was invited and kept the second ticket a secret so she can just go on a trip with her affair partner? Exactly. I think that is exactly what happened. Yeah. I think she just like, I think that's exactly what happened. Yeah. Insane. I can't believe I'm saying this, but not the a-hole. Someone offers to give you a free vacation on the condition that you attend one party during the time. I'd be jumping for the opportunity to take a free vacation and then no call, no show to your friend's wedding is really shitty behavior on their part. They could have extended their stay if they wanted to treat the trip as their own honeymoon. Yep, 100%. It's going to be funny, like reading these ones that are before the updates. Not the asshole, your friend is the asshole, but I can see you winning. Or I can't see you winning any sort of claim. Legally, you gifted her a plane ticket. There's no contract. She had to come to the wedding. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's some of that as well. Again, so many of these are like before all of the updates. Amazing. Not the asshole, but you should start by sending her a bill with copies of the bills for the airfare and hotel. Yeah, Yeah. The thing is, like, once you're telling somebody that you're going to bill them for it, you're like, you already lit the fuse, it's over. Good God, good googledy-moogledy. I love a good revenge story, okay? I'm not gonna pretend like I'm not a little petty, okay? I definitely live somewhat in the school of fuck around and find out. And while I, in my life, try to move on and just not let things drag me down, I also, listen, if you get petty with me, I will sometimes get very petty back. It's just, I will give you the same energy back that you gave to me, and I don't feel bad about it at all. Yes, maybe you're the bigger person by like moving on, but sometimes you deserve to get the energy back that you're putting out into the world, okay? All right, listen. Sometimes God has a plan and you are that plan, okay? Oh my God, this is what I live for. Okay. Am I the a-hole for telling my wife my mother is correct and she needed to be a parent today and she effed it up? Juicy start. I am waiting in the airport and I need to know if I effed up or not. This week, my daughter, she's in middle school, lost a classmate. My daughter has not taken it well, and overall, this is her first experience of someone she knows dying. The whole class was excused from school today, and the funeral is happening right now. I unfortunately could not be there. I tried, but my PTO was denied, and we cannot lose this job. Okay, first of all, your job is the a-hole. But anyway, continuing on. I flew out Wednesday night, and I'm coming back now. Our daughter is a mess. She was friends with the girl that passed away. The plan was for my wife, she is unemployed at the moment, to take her to the funeral/mass and just be there. My wife is more spiritual than the average person and hates all the things with the dead, funerals, viewings, and so on. This one is only a mass funeral, no viewing. She believes in ghosts and will avoid funerals like the plague. We discussed it on Wednesday and she said she would take our kid and then go to the gravesite. I got a call from my daughter sobbing that she wasn't going to the funeral. My wife was refusing to take her. When I got her to answer my call, she told me she can't do it and she is scared to go. I called my mom and asked her to pick up my daughter and take her to the funeral. My mom left work and took her. They are there now. I got a call from my wife after with her crying because my mom tore her a new one. The gist was my mom called her a bad parent and it is so effed up that she couldn't take our kid to a funeral of a classmate. She wants me to make my mom apologize and I told her that my mom was right. Oof. All right. Not going to make a value judgment just yet, but siding with the mom over the wife is always going to be a dicey proposition. I'll tell you that much. This was something that our daughter needed and she effed up, that she wasn't acting like a parent because of her fear of the dead. And all she needed to do was stay through mass. We got into a huge phone call argument and she's calling me a huge dick. My mom is apparently getting texts also. And I told her to not let our daughter know that we are fighting and if she could look after her for the day. She agreed. Okay. So that's the full story. Boy, it's really tough because there's obviously a difficult line between something that somebody is uncomfortable with and whether or not they should be expected to just suck it up. However, I think it's mostly a case of not the a-hole because your child is the most important part of this equation. And if you didn't think that you'd be able to handle it, at the very least, it's your responsibility to help make other arrangements because it's very important to your daughter to be able to participate in this and to be able to have her grief and process it and things like that. And being able to do that with friends of the family and people like that, at the very bare minimum, the mom should have helped find alternate arrangements if she absolutely couldn't do it herself. I obviously can't comment on how difficult the situation is for her, but it's really messy to basically be having an argument between your wife and your mother about your daughter. It's really messy, and maybe it wasn't right to say that your mom was right, but I do think it's pretty reasonable to say that you as a parent are responsible for like looking after your child, and always have a backup plan. You already know your answer. OP is not the a-hole. You have to put your kid above yourself. Agreed. The mom should be able to handle funerals, but at least seek an alternative. Exactly. I don't want to be like too judgmental, but I'm a little judgmental that like you can't go to a funeral. Like that's pretty wild. And again, your child is the most important part, and you're denying your daughter's ability to like process this grief is pretty wild. And again, or make alternate accommodations, which again, I really don't think she should have to make alternate accommodations, but she certainly had the time and ability to, you know. I'm going to say overall, not the a-hole, but it is a sticky situation. And I'm sure now you're like fighting with like now you're fighting over like siding with your mom again, because in general, I do think that you should be more concerned with your spouse than your parents or in-laws, but you should be even more concerned with your child. You know, I think that's where it ultimately lies down, you know. Take the wife out of the statement entirely. The daughter needs to be able to attend this. Yes, that is the ultimate endpoint. Sometimes you got to agree with mom when the spouse does something wrong. Yeah. I am not somebody that thinks that you are morally obligated to always agree with your spouse, even when they are obviously in the wrong. And I find it very weird and wrongthink to do so. I said this last time we did an Am I the A-hole reading, where a lot of these conflicts between spouses, I do not agree with the notion that your spouse is always right, even if they're about somebody else. Not that they're always right more than you, but I think it's very infantilizing to say that you should be expected to take somebody's side even when they're in the wrong, because it shows a lack of ability to stand up for your own convictions and your own actions. If you have done something that is in the wrong, you should not be expecting somebody to back you up just because, you know, that you should be expecting somebody to call you out on it for taking the wrong, you know. Yeah. If my partner accused me of siding with my mom in this case, I'd be like, actually, yes. Well, yeah, I mean, fair. Not the a-hole. Your wife let her own feelings get in the way of her daughters. As a parent, she needs to get used to doing things that might make her uncomfortable for the sake of the child's mental health and well-being. Your wife let your daughter down today, and your daughter isn't going to forget that her mother wasn't there for her. They both need therapy. Your daughter, because losing a friend at her age is absolutely traumatizing, and your wife, because her fear of death and ghosts led to her traumatizing your daughter even more. Yep. Totally agree with that. Holy smokes, not the a-hole, but you've got serious mess on your hands when you get home. Yep. If I were you, I'd focus on your daughter's broken heart for a while. Don't try to resolve the anger and mess with your wife's fear of the dead. When you get home, take your daughter out for a walk, a cry, and a hug, and talk about what you can do together to remember her friend. Maybe write a story of a fun time together that she can give to the mom of the friend. Let the weird wife situation lay dormant for a while. Don't apologize, but also don't be a dick about it. Yes. When your daughter has been properly attended to, ask for a conversation with your wife. Tell her that you think she let her fears take over. And if she knew she couldn't take her daughter to the funeral of her friend, then she needed to be the one to arrange alternate transportation. The full drop off and ignoring her child was a bad parenting call. Yes, exactly. I see some deleted comments. I was about to say, I'm very curious how often Reddit is not in agreement with itself, because a lot of the cases of Am I the A-hole feel like they're very open and closed cases. But seeing some deleted comments might tell a tale that people had a lot of disagreement with some of these opinions and then deleted their comments afterwards. Am I the a-hole for connecting to the ear pod after my niece swallowed it to see if it would play in her stomach? When my 3-year-old niece swallowed her sister's left AirPod, everyone started worrying right away. I was trying to lighten the situation, so I connected the AirPod to my phone and put my ear on her stomach to check if I could hear it. Surprisingly, it actually did hear a sound coming from inside her, which made the moment a bit funny for me. But the people around us didn't find it very amusing. They all looked at me like I wasn't taking things seriously at all. I was trying to calm the mood, but instead I ended up being the only one laughing while everyone else was stressing about the AirPod inside her. I'm going to say you're the a-hole. I am going to say that that's kind of a-hole-ish behavior. I think that when you're dealing with a 3-year-old, it's not quite as funny of a matter as it is with like an adult. or something like that, or even like a teenager, I think that it's very, very inappropriate for the mood of the situation. You can lighten the mood without doing that. I don't think it's that big of a deal. There is a difference between being an a-hole and being objectively damaging or harmful, and those are not the same thing. They often are. I think that I would say that you were kind of being an a-hole, but it's not that big of a deal. Does that make sense? I think that's my verdict on that one. I don't think I can be unbiased with this one. That's hilarious. I mean, it is hilarious, but it was not for the laughs. It was for the science. Had to be done. Yeah, of course Reddit thinks this is peak unk moment. Yeah. If your niece laughed and is okay, it doesn't matter. It'll be a joke for the two of you in the future. See, okay, this is justifying things retroactively. If she was fine, then it was fine. That's not how like probability and actions work. The fact that you can do something that's not smart and still be okay doesn't make it suddenly smart or fine in reverse. It just means that you got lucky. Now, do I think that this would hurt her? Probably not. But I also don't think that turning on electronics inside of somebody's stomach is smart either. I don't know. I finally think I found one that I disagreed with Reddit on. I think Reddit all says not the a-hole. And I think legitimately he is kind of the a-hole. It's just not that big of a deal. Like, it is funny, but you can be funny and be an a-hole at the same time. You know what I mean? You're more concerned over the fact that she managed to get an AirPod and swallowed it. Yeah, I mean, there's clearly some level of neglect. Sometimes things happen, you know, like, maybe somebody dropped something and like it just was too close to her and she got it right away or something, but it's probably more like they left the AirPods out and then she just like yoinked it, which you gotta be aware that 3-year-olds be yoinking things and putting them in their mouths. It's kind of their one thing that they do, you know? Not a very serious one. So it's kind of surprising that it's that upvoted. It probably got upvoted for humor. Am I the a-hole for telling my wife forget it and going out by myself for my birthday instead of going to her fancy dinner reservation? Ooh, that's awkward. I'm just gonna preemptively interject here that ultimately, if it is a celebration for you, what you want should be taken into account. However, if you didn't tell her anything and then you just don't like what she did, it's not great. It's not great. Throwaway sorry fix the first half. This has been an ongoing issue and it came to a head yesterday. My wife is a planner and it's extremely hard for her to just go with the flow. If we are going to do something, she needs all the details. She does have OCD. I forgot to include that. That is why she is such a planner. Okay, so we've got some neurodivergence rearing its head. This is a frequent challenge. I am simultaneously a planner, but also a go with the flow person, depending on the nature of the thing that needs to be planned or the flow that needs to be gone with. And sometimes that does cause some challenges with us. Wifebach does like to know what things are in order or being planned. So, you know, okay. A while ago, she asked what I wanted to do for my birthday. I've been burnt out from work. So I told her I just want to go to a chain restaurant around here on my day. Just a chill night out. I don't want to get dressed up or anything. She asked where and what time, and I told her I'll just pick the day of what I am feeling. Maybe I want Olive Garden or maybe I want to get Chinese takeout. I expressed many times I don't want to plan anything and just go with the day. Really, I just wanted to go out and eat what I was feeling that day. This week, she had asked what time, and I told her we both get home from like 5 to 6 so we can go out. She was frustrated. I was giving her an answer about where to eat, and I told her multiple times what I am feeling that day. She asked if we needed reservations, and I told her no multiple times. We will be a walk-in on a Wednesday to a chain restaurant. She asked if I wanted anything fancy, and I told her no, I just wanted a simple night. Yesterday was the issue. I wanted Olive Garden, go home, get some breadsticks, and chill the rest of the night. I get home around 5 and my wife is all dressed up. I asked her why, and she said she made reservations for the fancy sushi place in the city. She said it was a surprise and we need to leave in about 20 minutes. Nothing has sounded so unappealing to me in my life. I told her I wanted to go to Olive Garden. We got into an argument about how she spent all this effort to get a reservation. I told her I didn't want any of this. In the end, I left to go to Olive Garden by myself. We got into another argument when I got back. Yeah. Not the a-hole. I do think that there's a certain level of you got to take some agency in understanding that this is a problem or a challenge that your wife is facing. And so you got to just put on your big boy pants a little bit and just choose something. However, no matter how much you feel the need to plan things and have plans, making secret plans for somebody when they've explicitly expressed that that's not what they want to do makes you the a-hole. It's just, that's not how planning works. That's not how people's free time works. And if they explicitly told you what they did and didn't want to do, and then you secretly made a plan, you don't get to invoice them for your personal time making that plan that they expressly told you they didn't want you to do. I do see this happening a lot of the time in family dynamics, either between parents and children or between married people, where somebody will do a lot of work, but it's work that isn't asked for or isn't wanted. And then they'll get upset that it didn't land how they imagined it would how it would land, even though sometimes it is directly, expressly said that it's something that they don't want to have done or to do or to participate in. And you just don't get to count your own time working on something that somebody told you they didn't want as like reason that they should now want it. So it's definitely a not the a-hole from me. It's a complicated situation. Could he have just put on his big boy pants and said, I'm just picking Olive Garden? Yes. And that's probably what he should have done. But he already was pretty clear about the type and scope of what he wanted and very explicit about not wanting to get dressed up or do anything fancy. So yeah, partner needs some coping strategies. Exactly. Neurodivergence isn't an excuse to control the behavior of other people. Yeah, exactly. They both need to work on their communication as a couple, but sorry, if you asked and got a very clear answer, that's your answer. That's the answer. There's nothing more to say about that. Not the a-hole. Your wife didn't spend that effort for you. She spent it for herself. She knows that. She's just mad she didn't get her way. She's 10,000% in the wrong. I don't know that I would necessarily say she spent it for herself, but it's because of her own mental systems that she did spend it, if that makes sense. Not the a-hole. We got into this argument before about how she spent all this effort to get a reservation. All this effort, she made a phone call. You said what you wanted for your birthday and she decided to ignore that and book something she wanted to do for your birthday. That is shitty. Yeah. Not the a-hole. I'm a planner. Plans make me feel good, but my ex was not, and going with the flow made him happy. So on birthdays or events for him, that's exactly what we did. And I tucked away, sometimes with difficulty, the planner side of me. And events and birthdays for me, he made a plan and tucked away his go with the flow personality, because the biggest thing is being heard and seen on your day. Yes, that is important. And it needs to go both ways. But given that this is his birthday, like, you know what I did for my birthday? I played Baldur's Gate 3 with my wife, and then we ordered takeout because it was very close to my debut week, and I did not want to plan a single thing in my life. You know what I mean? And that was exactly what I wanted, and it was great. You know, like, it was great. Am I the a-hole? I peed standing up in a traffic jam. Throwaway. I am 26 female. Boyfriend is 25 male. We got stuck in an insane traffic jam. Boyfriend was driving. We were at a standstill. Found out later they had closed the highway. I had to pee really bad, like bad. I saw that a couple guys had run to the side of the road to pee, and I decided to do the same. It was super open with a few bushes by the side of the road, really not much cover. I have a stand-to-pee device in my car, but when I grabbed it, my boyfriend got all weird. He said people would see me pee standing up and that I think that I was trans. I said no one would think that. Plenty of women have pee funnels, and also that I didn't care. I have no beef with trans people. He said I should squat. Just to put his mind at ease, I said I didn't want to get my butt and cooch out on the highway in front of everyone or to get pee on my shoes, and I just wanted to be quick and clean. He said he didn't want people to look at the girl he was dating and think she was trans and that I should squat like girls do. I'm dying by this point. All right, I don't even need to finish the rest of this. Not the a-hole. Your boyfriend is transphobic. That makes him the a-hole by default, much like when people say that they think that I'm a gay twink and I'm not. I don't have a problem with people saying that. I don't have a problem with people thinking that I have those characteristics, because it's not, and they're not saying it as an insult, because it's not an insult. I get it. It's funny, but I don't care. Like, that doesn't affect me in any way. And random people on the side of the road thinking that you're dating a trans person doesn't matter, because so what if you were, but you're not. So it like doubly doesn't matter. Yeah, 10,000% not the a-hole. We'll finish doing it anyway. I finally couldn't hold it anymore, and I really didn't want to show the world my butt, so I ran to the side of the road, slipped the device into my jeans, and just peed standing up with my back to traffic. No one could see anything. It just slides through the zipper, but I guess maybe if someone was looking, they would be confused. When I got back to the car, my boyfriend wouldn't talk to me. He said I disrespected his feelings, but it was 100% an emergency. Am I the a-hole? Update to all the commenters asking, yes, he is an ex-boyfriend now. Yes, queen shit. And yes, there were other red flags. Ditched the man, kept the pee funnel, gotta laugh at him every time I pee standing up. Queen shit. Let's go. Let's go. Fantastic. We love a happy ending. We love a happy ending. I think I said everything I needed to say about it. It's 100% your boyfriend's problem. I think one of the more freeing things you can do in life is to just start like actually actively questioning your thoughts of what would it matter if somebody did think that? And the follow-up, like, why would it be bad if they thought something incorrect about me? And if your answer is because I think that identity or sex or gender or orientation or race is gross, I've got some bad news for you. You got some big problems to work through. And if you're fine with those being problems, then you're a red flag and I don't want to talk to you. But there's a lot of people that will claim that they aren't sexist or homophobic or transphobic or whatever, racist, ableist, any of them. But then, like, when push comes to shove, if somebody like perceives you as being that thing, they'll get very offended. And you really need to look at yourself and ask why that offends you if you aren't viewing it as lesser than. You know what I mean? And again, this is assuming that somebody's not trying to maliciously weaponize your identity, right? Like, if you're trans and people are like intentionally misgendering you, that's a completely different question, you know? But like, if somebody looked at me and they're like, yeah, man, super gay, I'm like, I'm not, but like, whatever. You know what I mean? God, I wish, you know? So there's a lot of unpacking to do there. I'm glad that this woman got a pee funnel and stood to pee, got to experience one of the greatest benefits of being a man, which is peeing while standing and drawing shapes in the snow, you know. And I'm glad she dumped his ass. If I was a boyfriend, I would legit be impressed that my girlfriend got a device for that. Such a pain in the ass as a woman to pee if there's no bathroom around. Exactly. Yep. 100%. Not the asshole. Your boyfriend is clearly transphobic. That's 100% on him. And who cares if people think you're trans? And you don't want people to think you're dating someone bigoted and hateful. Nailed it. 100%. He's insecure and transphobic. He also puts his insecurity and transphobia above your comfort. Not the a-hole. Honestly, you can do better than this specimen. Yep. Not the a-hole. Next time, make hard eye contact and pee in the car as a show of dominance. Yeah. Am I the a-hole for using my USB killer frying my friend's PC after she snooped in my bag? 20 female, my friend is 21 female. I always carry a USB killer in my backpack. It looks like any other thumb drive, except I stuck a tiny devil face sticker on it, so I know it's the dangerous one. I keep it on me because I still live at home and my parents are super nosy. If I ever left it on my desk, they definitely pick it up and plug it into their computer to see what it is. Yesterday, I had to leave campus in a rush and asked my friend to watch my bag for a bit. I ended up not having to come back, so I just texted her to take it home and grab it today. She said, cool. She gets home, admits she got curious and started looking through my stuff, finds the devil sticker USB, thinks it's a normal drive, plugs it into her gaming PC to see what files I have. Computer instantly dies, motherboard and PSU completely gone. Now she's mad at me saying I'm reckless for carrying something like that and I need to buy her a new setup, even though she knows she shouldn't have been digging around in my bag in the first place. I feel bad her PC is dead, but come on, you don't snoop and plug random drives into your computer. Am I the asshole? Both are true. I do think that you're kind of an asshole for carrying something that's going to do thousands of dollars of damage in your bag, especially with the framing of like, I live at home, so I know that my parents would plug it in. I think this makes you an asshole because it's the setting traps thing. It's like, are you punishing somebody who is transgressing against you? Yes. Is the punishment equal to what's being done? No. It's like putting traps on your property is generally considered to be an asshole-ish thing. And it's also illegal, by the way, to put lethal traps on your property, even if the point is like only people that are trespassing will get injured by them. That's still considered to be not good socializing behavior. I think this is very much like an am I cool? I'm edgy and this is cool situation. There is no real legitimate reason to need a thumb drive that destroys hardware in your purse that I can think of. So like, I do kind of think this makes OP the asshole. Their friend's also an asshole. Like, it's not a one asshole situation. Okay, there's a lot of assholes sitting around this. Don't snoop around and don't carry around malicious devices for no reason. Yes, exactly. That's what I'm saying. I think Reddit is going to be very like, we're the superior people that think that like it's all fine because they didn't need to do it. But I still think it's kind of fucked up. Your last line covers it. She was a bad friend for looking through your bag and a bad friend to use something of yours without asking. She's learned an expensive and lifelong lesson. Don't be a dick to your friends and don't plug unknown USBs into your computer without checking first. Yeah, Reddit. Never install media of unknown content in your system. Don't snoop on other people's stuff. Simple rules, violate them and bad things tend to occur. Yes, but however, I'm sorry, Reddit nerds. This is known as a fuck around and find out. She snooped, she stole, she paid the price. Too bad, so sad. I suppose. I still think that this is the like Reddit nerd answer. I think she's the asshole still. Controversial. I don't feel that bad for her friend, but am I the a-hole for not making my daughter-in-law coffee and telling her I am not a barista? Boy, that setup sounds an awful lot like you're the a-hole, but we'll see. I sent this to my son and daughter-in-law. My son and daughter-in-law are staying in our home probably for the next month due to water damage in their home. The company is fixing the damage, but the floor was damaged, so it's not very livable right now. They have only been here less than a week and I'm having an issue. I work nights and come back around 6:30 a.m. and then go to bed. My husband is usually up, so I make him a cup of coffee and breakfast before I turn in. It's just something I like to do, more quality time before he heads to work. I asked my son and Emily if they would also like coffee or breakfast before they go to work. They said no to food, but yes to coffee. That was easy and I just made 2 extra cups. I asked them to tell me if they want me to change how to make their coffee. I thought they would just tell me, use this cream or that if they had a preference on blend. Emily texted me last night and said she left instructions for the coffee. This morning I came home to a very detailed instructions how to make a complex coffee. It was like a Starbucks drink. She wanted foamed milk on top, different syrups, specific coffee bean, and a different brewing method. We have a drip coffee machine. Most of the stuff was on the counter. I decided I wasn't doing that and just made her normal coffee. Emily wasn't happy and we got into an argument before she went to work. I basically told her that I'm not a Starbucks barista and I'm not going through all that. She told me I shouldn't have offered in the first place if I wasn't going to make the coffee to her liking. We left on a sour note. I've been getting texts from my son about not being hospitable and I'm having trouble sleeping at the moment. Should I just make the coffee? Okay, nope. We flipped it back. We reversed it. You did the responsible thing. You asked if they wanted some. You were not denying an offer to like make an extra cup of coffee, which is not difficult. However, have some grace. Like if you already made the coffee, she can do the rest of it if she wants. You know what I mean? She can do the stirring and the topping and the ingredients and the 10-step like brother, I feel like your son is in a high maintenance relationship in a bad way, and that's not a great look. That was a real switch up for me. Just from the title, I was definitely going to say probably the a-hole, but she did a reasonable amount of work. Have some grace, okay? You're already staying in their home for free. Like, they're putting you up. You know what I mean? Like, brother, don't look a gift horse in the mouth. Emily needs a reality check. Yep. Don't look a gift horse in the mouth. Yep. Free coffee is free coffee. Exactly. Who assumes they can make drinks? Exactly. It's not like if it was what the OP was expecting, if it was just like some creamer or some sugar, she was going to do that. And that's totally reasonable because that's like 3 seconds of work. You know what I mean? But like, come on. Like if I ask if you want a drink, that doesn't mean I'm going to make you like a fancy 5-ingredient cocktail drink. You know what I mean? That means you can have a beer or you can have a glass of wine. You know, like, be so for real. Be so for real. If your son's doubling down like that, it sounds like it's time for he and his entitled wife to seek new accommodations. No, that's being too much the asshole. I deal with it. Not the a-hole. I can't imagine being so entitled. You're making your coffee. You're just not devoting a ton of extra time to make her some sort of fancy drink. If it's that important to her, she should get up earlier and do it herself. Or maybe your son can get up earlier and roleplay as a barista for his spoiled wife. Yep. WTF, if someone asks you how you like your coffee, your options are milk or no milk, sugar or no sugar, strong or weak, middling, and maybe a big cup. If the person making you coffee just finished a night shift and they're putting you up for free, not the a-hole, but they very much are so. 100%. I do agree with Reddit on this one. Not the a-hole. The social contract for asking someone how they like their coffee goes like this. Black or milk? How much? Sugar or not? Maybe if you have different milk options. That's it. Exactly. 100%.